Let's take a look at how the range brass catcher will fit on a DS Arms FAL. So any FAL really, just happens to be a DS Arms FAL. I've got my ACOG mounted on here as well. How the range brass catcher would work well for the DS Arms FAL. Now, one thing you're going to notice right here is I do have a small riser. I just found for my particular FAL that the way in which the brass ejects, it ejects more upwards, and it helped to have a little bit of a riser for the range brass catcher. I could have mounted it right here in a slot underneath, but for the purpose of the riser, I put it out here on the quad rail. So again, you do need a 12 o'clock Picatinny rail, either above the receiver or some kind of quad rail in order for the range brass catcher to work. Now, just as a side note, I used the Lions gear. See if I can get this to focus. Lions gear, and that says BM0307. You can get the Lions gear at Cheaper Than Dirt is where I bought mine. It was about 10 bucks. It works great if you want to buy a more expensive riser. I just use the standard height riser is what I have mounted here on the rail. Show that. So just the standard riser there mounted on the rail. So the range brass catcher, as with any gun that has a 12 o'clock Picatinny rail, very easy to mount. So here's our range brass catcher. I need to loosen up my, again, this is a standard 5/32 hex bolt. Just need to loosen it up a little so I can slide it down toward the end based on how my brass ejects, and then simply loosen up my quick knob here and get it in the slot, tighten it down. I like to have mine all the way to the left of the frame. Tighten it up. And there we go. And now my range brass catcher will work just fine, catching my brass out of my DS Arms FAL. I have plenty of room. See the ejection port. Bag opening is plenty big enough to catch the brass as it flies in, as it flies out of the rifle into the bag. So the range brass catcher, as it attaches to a DS Arms FAL with a quad rail on the front. Again, I've just found for my application a small riser is very helpful in making that work better and for the bag to catch the brass better, as my brass on this particular FAL tends to fly a little more upward.